Hey everyone, Josh here. So I'm in the middle of doing a turbo replacement video and we're doing some slight modifications to it so that I just make a different video in case nobody wants to modify the turbo. We got a stock turbo here that's going on here. I've got a bunch of these turbos sitting around here now, so I've got lots of spare parts. So we're gonna do a few little modifications. So we're gonna modify the inlet of the turbo, so where the low pressure EGR goes into. We're going to make a high flow output, which would be the turbo dampener. New Speed sells them, but they're about $190 US. So that's a bit more I want to spend on a turbo that I came with a whole engine for $400. So that's that. And then we're also going to modify the exhaust to a certain extent. So we're going to go over what we're doing here. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to do the turbo inlet. So that would sit right there. Low pressure EGR comes in, so nice clean EGR. The DPF was cracked, so it's full of soot and also full of oil now. So we are temporarily bypassing that while I'm waiting for the cooler to get repaired. So I did a video on the EGR repair or removal. So I got a little cap welded on here. Some people sell a rubber plug to go in there. It's like an expansion plug for a boat, I guess. I don't know. It's got a bolt, the rubber, and then a nut. And you basically tighten the two together and the rubber expands and then seals it up. I was a little sketched out to have a bolt sitting in the inlet of the turbo, so I just got that welded. So that's the modification there. I thought about maybe knocking these fins off, but it comes in nice and straight right into the turbo, so I think you're going to cause a bunch of turbulence if you knock these off. So next we're going to do the turbo outlet, which would be the turbo muffler or the dampener. Next piece of the puzzle is the turbo outlet, which is the turbo dampener or the turbo muffler. Bolts to there. It's got a bunch of baffling inside so it doesn't make turbo noises. I guess some people don't like turbo noises. But anyways, so it comes out, goes through there, and you can see a seam there, and you can see how restricted it is compared to like your intercooler or all your piping. It's all fairly large stuff, so we're going to open this up a bit. The one that's off of this car originally is full of chunks of turbo, so I'm going to modify this one so I don't have to worry about cleaning it out. So I don't know if it makes a big difference or not. New Speed sells the one already done. They say it makes more power, but obviously they would say that because they're the ones selling it. Some other people just say it makes a little bit more turbo noise or makes absolutely no difference at all. It's the time to do it now while the turbo's off. If it makes a difference, cool. If not, then I guess it was a waste of 5 minutes. Okay, so this is going to be hard to see, but on the outlet side, if you look down in there, you can see all the baffling, which is only halfway around. And then there's a seam, like a slit, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches down there that goes all the way around. So basically we're going to put this in the vise upside down and basically hit that, and that should pop out. And then same thing on this side, you can see a seam in there. Same kind of deal, put it in the vise, we're going to knock that side out the other way. Okay, nice and easy. Here's the outlet knocked out. Took a bit of hitting, but that's looking higher flow already. So now we're going to knock the other side out. So this is a good point. I'll put it in the other video, but when you got a turbo that sent chunks everywhere, you're really going to want to wash all this stuff out because it's going to hide stuff inside of here. That's a bit of a poor design. Okay, so now we've got this side knocked out, so you can see before and after. So we've still got a big dampener in there. My thought there is get a hole saw that'll fit just over top of that, and then we'll just hole saw that out and then maybe just smooth that edge out a bit. Okay, so some drilling, we got that next dampener knocked out. Get the light on the camera here. So basically I started going from this side down with a 1 3/4 or 44 mil. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is kind of angle it in like that with a 1.5 or 38 mil. I think that's 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. So I'll get the flash on here and we'll look at how the dampener's looking now. So we're looking at the outlet here. So that needs to be smoothed here a bit. This inside's pretty nice. You can see I kind of got too far out with the other one, so I'll have to smooth this up a bit. But if you keep drilling, I think you're going to drill right through the outside. And then, yeah, there's a lot of meat on this outside corner here yet. So I'm going to smooth that out with a die grinder and then clean all this junk out of here. Okay, so you can see the difference here. So I didn't get too crazy with the die grinder in there. Just kind of smoothed it out so it's a nice smooth lip. You got to be careful you don't take too much meat away, especially right in here. But yeah, I put 2 hands on it and make sure I couldn't break this end off, so I don't think we got any issues there doing this way. Let me get it out of the light. It's a bit of a difference. So that's going to go on there, and now we've got the air side done. So now we're going to switch to the exhaust. Okay, so for the exhaust, we're not getting too fancy. We're not gasket matching or porting or anything like that. We're just going to install this blocker plate here. We got an issue with the high pressure EGR, so this is going to be a temporary bypass just to get this car tested out, see how it runs. The turbo that this engine that the turbo came off of, it was deleted. So it already had a blocker plate in here, but I had a bit of an issue with how they did it. So the race pipes usually come with a blocker plate, depending on the quality. They're quite thin, so you can see that's dished pretty good. So, and the other issue, see a bit of gasket material there. They use the cork gasket, so I'm not a huge fan of cork, but I would only use this on the intake, so up here. This isn't meant for temperature, and as you can see, that plate got warped, and you can see exhaust gases escaping in the center there. That's not what you want. So me personally, I would reuse the steel gasket well before using a cork gasket on exhaust. The other thing is if you only have one of these thin plates available to you, what I would probably do is get your gasket, get this thin plate, and then cut the flange off of your pipe and then stick that on there. So then this nice thick meaty flange is going to help hold that in and not end up having it warp away from the manifold like that. So however you want to do that, you can. Better options, get a quality plate. It's a bit thicker. Even that one's fairly thin, but it is quite a bit thicker than what's on here. So here's what it is. So that's going to be the end of this turbo video. So I'm going to go back and keep videoing the install. So hopefully these budget or free modifications were interesting. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.